Although there are specific techniques and methods used by law enforcement when they conduct an interrogation, there isn't a set script that they have to follow. The ability to react and adapt to whatever situation may arise is essential when doing any form of interview. But the unpredictability of interviewing someone believed to be involved in a serious crime or traumatic event means that sometimes an interrogation can go down a path that no one planned for. These are two interrogations with unexpected turns. When Ryan Waller failed to arrive for Christmas dinner with his family in 2006 and no one could get a hold of him, his father called the police and asked them to do a welfare check at his son's home in Phoenix, Arizona. The police arrived at Ryan Waller's home and stumbled upon a disturbing scene. Ryan's girlfriend, Heather Kwan, was deceased, but despite being visibly beaten and bruised, Ryan was still alive. The police transported him to the station to be interviewed, believing that he may have been responsible for the death of his girlfriend. During this interview, Ryan struggled to speak coherently, slurring his words and insisting he just wanted to go to sleep, all of which are obvious signs of a head injury. However, the detective persevered and continued to ask Ryan questions despite his inability to answer even the fairly basic ones.
What's the highest grade you went through school?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know the highest grade you went through?
Eighth?
Eighth grade? Did you graduate?
Yeah.
Do you have a GED?
I don't know.
You don't know what?
I don't know. I don't know. I just want to go home.
Oh, you're not going to go home right now. What happened to your face?
I don't know.
You told the officer just a few minutes ago that someone hit you. Do you remember who hit you?
I don't know. I think it was Heather.
While Ryan was unable to even recall what grade he made it to in school, the detective tried his best to get Ryan to try and remember what happened the night before. But as you will see, Ryan's reaction when he is reminded that his girlfriend is no longer alive shows just how detached he was from reality.
I don't know. I just want to go to sleep, man. That's it.
Hey, Ryan?
Huh? Huh?
There's a dead girl in your living room.
She's dead?
Yes.
Heather?
I don't know. I want to know what happened in your house last night.
The girl on the couch is dead?
I don't know if she's on the couch. She's dead.
Well, these people came over, Richie and his dad, with shoot and arrow, bow and darts. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They hit me and her with those. That's it. And Heather wasn't there. And Eric wasn't there. It was just me and Heather. What was there?
You and Heather were there. And then what happened?
And that's it. Richie and his dad tried to break in through the back.
Richie and Dad? His dad?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Richie?
I don't know.
Well, you obviously know him. You know his name by
He
Richie.
used to live there.
Was he a roommate of yours?
He used to be.
And they hit you and they hit you?
Yeah.
Now it's Richie that hit you, not Heather?
No, Richie and his dad.
Richie and his dad. They hit you.
Yes.
Why?
Because they're trying to get their stuff. I don't know why.
And they had some kind of bow and arrows?
Mm-hmm. They each had 2 revolvers and they didn't let off any shells.
Okay, you just said they had bow and arrows. Now they have revolvers?
That's what I meant. They had revolvers.
They have revolvers.
Yes.
And then what happened?
And then they shot us with those.
They shot both of you?
Yeah,
Where'd they shoot you at?
I got shot in the eye.
You got shot in the eye
I think so.
with a revolver.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Fuck.
Then what happened?
I don't know.
You don't know a lot, Ryan.
I don't, man. I really don't.
Did you shoot Heather?
Mm-mm.
I heard you have a lot of guns in your house.
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
Well, you know we're going to look.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, why don't you tell me what really happened there? Because I don't believe...
I really don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know. I can tell you anything, I swear.
I want you to tell me the truth. That's all I want from
Richie
you.
and his dad came there. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why, but they put me in sleeping hold. And, like, they put me in sleeping hold with the arrows and shit. Like, I lived through that crap.
Okay, they put you in a sleeping hold?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know, man.
You're telling me they put you in a sleeping hold. What is a sleeping hold?
I don't know.
Well, explain it.
I really don't know.
It's coming out of your mouth. Explain that to me. What's a sleeping hold?
I really don't know, man. I really don't. I really don't know.
Okay. You're telling me you're all over the board here, number one. You're saying bows and arrows, you're saying revolvers, and you're saying some other thing, and you're saying they shot you in the eye. Okay? They shot you with a revolver in your eye.
Yes. And that's
Is it a BB gun?
No, it was a real gun, man. It was just a
If they
revolver.
shot you in the eye with a revolver, you wouldn't be talking to me right now.
How do you know?
It was most likely you'd be dead.
That's what I thought too, man. I really don't know.
Okay?
I really don't know, and I just want to go back to sleep and try to go back to bed.
You're not going back to bed. Okay? That's not going to happen.
Alright, but what happened, man? What do I gotta do? Just tell me what I gotta do.
All right, get your feet off my chair is number one. Number two, what happened to Heather?
I don't know, man. I really don't
You're
know.
now saying Richie and his dad shot Heather.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yes.
And they shot her with a revolver.
Yes.
And did not use any gun. They came with those guns.
Mm-mm.
And they came through the where? They were breaking
Through
in?
the back.
Through the back? By your door, or is there another door?
Through the back door.
Through the back door? Is that off the kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
As well as giving some information about two men who were responsible for the death of his girlfriend, at one point Ryan claims to have been shot by them, first with a bow and arrow, but he then clarifies it was in fact a revolver. The detective, however, clearly does not believe Ryan's story. It's only when the detective has had Ryan in the interview room for nearly an hour that he leans forward to take a closer look at Ryan's injuries, mainly his purple and swollen eye.
I don't know, man.
Ryan, you need to start telling me the truth because your story doesn't make sense.
I'm trying, man. I don't know. Just ask me anything and I'll tell you the truth. Just ask me.
Well, I'm trying to, and you're not even coming close to the truth.
Go ahead, ask me.
What happened with you and Heather last night?
Her dad came and shot the house.
And shot her.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad. Now, Richie is her dad?
Mm-hmm.
Or Richie's her brother?
Yeah, her dad.
Her dad shot her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do?
I tried to go back to sleep.
After you've been shot
Mm-hmm.
in the eye,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't know enough to call 911.
Mm-mm.
Why did you call 911?
Because I was just trying to go to sleep. That's it.
You just saw Richie's and his dad shoot your girlfriend, and you just felt like you needed to go to sleep?
something like that. I don't know, man. I really don't.
Ryan, look at me. Ryan.
Yes. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Why did you shoot Heather, Ryan?
I didn't shoot Heather. She was already shot once by her brother, I swear.
Richie.
Yes.
Richie shot his own sister.
Yes, I swear. That's it.
Sit down.
Not me.
And you've been shot in the eye.
Yes. That's it.
Put your feet up on the table, please.
My feet hurt, man. I don't know why.
Get them off my table. Let me see your nose. Put your legs down. Put your legs down. Bring your face closer.
Oh, my head hurts.
Okay. Yeah, be right back.
Thankfully, Ryan was then uncuffed and checked over by a medical professional. Doctors would later determine that Ryan Waller had been shot twice in the head during the assault and still had bullet fragments in his head while he sat in the interrogation room. He would undergo multiple surgeries to save his life, needing part of his brain removed, and ended up being blind in both eyes. The police would later uncover that just days before Christmas, Ryan Waller and his girlfriend Heather had been at their home relaxing when there was a knock at the door. Two men had rushed in with guns pointed. They shot Heather, who died almost immediately, and then they shot Ryan twice. Due to his injuries, Ryan was unable to call for help and was not found until 2 days later when the police arrived for the welfare check. While the motive for the attack was never fully uncovered, the two men who were responsible were charged, and after some legal wrangling, they were both sentenced to life in prison. Ryan Waller would end up being fully dependent on his parents as a direct result of his brain injuries, and unfortunately, he died just 10 years after the attack in 2016 following a seizure. In 2009, social media sites like MySpace, Facebook and YouTube were surging in popularity, particularly among teenagers, and Alyssa Bustamante was no different. The 15-year-old used social media as a way to escape the problems in her daily life and to reveal a hidden side of her personality. Alyssa's parents were in and out of jail, and so at the age of 7, she went to live with her grandmother, who strived to provide her with the stability and opportunities she needed to succeed. But her problems continued. She would be placed on antidepressants and temporarily hospitalized in 2007 following an attempt to take her own life. But to her family and friends, Alyssa presented as a fairly normal and intelligent teen. No one could have predicted what would happen next. On Wednesday, the 21st of October 2009, Alyssa's neighbour, 9-year-old Elizabeth Alton, was reported missing. The police quickly wanted to speak to Alyssa since Elizabeth had begged her mother to let her go and play with Alyssa earlier that same day. Alyssa's diary was seized and the FBI uncovered some concerning facts. Alyssa had dug 2 large holes behind her house that resembled graves just days prior to Elizabeth Alton going missing. As a minor, Alyssa's grandmother attended the interview alongside her to act as her legal guardian. The interview started off quite routine and even kind of mundane, where they make small talk about sports.
Well, there's been, there were some folks out there out in the forest, I guess, digging some holes or looking at some holes. And I guess they had said that you like to go out there and dig holes. So I'm going to have to ask you some stuff about yourself.
Okay.
Because obviously that plays in there if they were looking at holes and you're out there in the forest and that sort of thing. So
Right.
I guess just tell me a little bit about yourself so I understand where all this is coming from.
I really like nature, animals, being outside. It's
Okay.
just naturistic like that. And I get bored really easily, and I'm entertained really easily.
Okay.
So, digging holes is just something to do. And behind our daycare house, there's like 2 still there that you haven't filled in, right? 2 holes. That from when me and my brothers were digging holes when we lived in the house.
Okay.
And they're really big. But the one that usually I don't really dig very big holes because I get bored. I'll start doing it and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay. You just like to dig holes?
And I like to climb trees.
Okay.
And I bury dead animals that I find because I believe it's respectful to them.
Okay. Okay. What kind of holes do you dig? Tell me about these holes you dig.
Well,
You dig them a certain way every time, or just
just
dig a hole?
Just dig a hole, pretty much.
Okay. Just wherever they're at? I mean, do you dig at a certain spot, or what?
No.
Just a big round hole.
I'm such a not dirt kind of girl.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. I don't do worms and I don't do dirt.
Well, I'm in rugby,
Oh.
and so we do a lot of contact, physical, in the mud and whatnot. And
I know several
really
girls
enjoy
playing
that.
rugby. That's kind of the thing right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is this new?
I hadn't heard of it until this year.
This is the first year I know several girls
So
that are playing. How many teams are there?
Girls rugby?
Yes.
It's
It's girls
good.
rugby, high school girl rugby, and
Hey.
they get after it.
Oh, I'm sure they
yes,
do.
they do.
But when the police began to increase the pressure and asked more difficult questions, Alyssa would end up revealing more and more information, eventually implicating herself in the death of the 9-year-old.
That's what I'm asking. Tell us what happened. If this was an accident, that's fine. We can deal with that. But I have to know what happened. I have to know what the truth was. I have to know how this happened. And the most important thing is we have to know where she's at. We have to give this family some closure. Just like if this is your little sister, you would want closure. This family needs closure. Okay? Let's start at the beginning. Is this something that was planned out, or was this just an accident?
It was an accident.
Okay. Well, this is a starting point then. That's kind of what I thought. Why don't we start with what happened? Did you get home from school at 3:30?
Do you want to sit by her?
You got home at 3:30,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happened from there?
I went in the forest. Like I said. And Elizabeth was in there.
Do you have an extra one for her? Yes. Elizabeth was there in the forest?
Yes.
Was she alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
We decided to go hang out. Because it was a nice day.
Although Alyssa initially tried to claim that it was an accident and that Elizabeth had fallen over and hit her head, eventually she revealed the truth. But her grandmother's reaction meant that the interrogation had to pause, which is one of the worst things to happen for the detective while he was in the middle of getting a confession out of Alyssa.
When we go and get the body here, there'll be an autopsy. And it doesn't matter. I work a lot of homicides. It doesn't matter whether the body's burned or not. They'll go through and do an autopsy. And they will discover every injury on her body and the cause of death. And I understand you say she fell, and that's why she died. However, they will know from the autopsy if she was shot, if she was hit in the head, if her throat was cut. They will know all of that from the autopsy. So we need to know the truth, because at the end of the autopsy, they will know exactly how she died. So we need to know now the full truth, full disclosure right now, so it doesn't come out later that, well, Alyssa wasn't telling the full truth again. We need to have it all come out now. How did you kill her?
I didn't. She died.
How did she die? 9-year-old girls don't just die.
We were messing her out. And she fell back and hit her head.
Was her throat cut?
Yeah. Oh.
Grandma?
Oh my God.
She was grandma to leave. I'm not going to ask any questions right now until we get. Alyssa, I think you dug the hole ahead of time because you knew you were going to kill Elizabeth. I think you tried to dig the hole, like I said, and realized it was too hard to dig down that far. And I think you got Elizabeth out there and knew you were going to kill her. And then you cut her throat. Is that what happened?
Yes.
The callous way in which this teenager described brutally murdering a child is disturbing, not least to her grandmother, who was still sitting in the corner of the room and hearing every word of the confession. While the grandmother struggled to contain her devastation in hearing what her granddaughter had done, the detective made the right decision to allow the grandmother to leave. And luckily for him, he was able to go straight back into it and continue to get all of the information he could about the murder from Alyssa. The FBI would later find an entry in Alyssa's diary that she had tried to hide by covering the page in blue ink, the contents of which clearly displayed Alyssa's mindset in the hours following the horrific murder. "I just effing killed someone. I strangled them and slit their throat and stabbed them and now they're dead. I don't know how to feel at the moment. It was amazing. As soon as you get over the, oh my god, I can't do this feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm kinda nervous and shaky though right now. Okay, I gotta go to church now, LOL. Almost 2 years later, Alyssa pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Her grandmother's reaction to the dark truth of what happened to Elizabeth Alton is harrowing and shows just how important it is for detectives to be ready for anything when conducting an interrogation.